So we're back here on the Duncan Duo show, wrapping up the show with our last segment. We're going to talk about some common real estate scams to avoid. And Mike, first one on the list that everybody talks about is wiring money to the wrong person. And I think that you have to understand that there are people out there fishing off a real estate agent and title companies and mortgage companies' emails that have hacked them, that have had access for a while, just waiting for an opportunity to attempt to send fake wiring instructions. So, you know, that's something that happens a lot. It's
a big issue right now with the wires. You know, there's hackers that are intercepting emails, changing wire instruction numbers.
You look if the DNC can get hacked, a mortgage company.
Exactly. So there's always a way to protect yourself there. I send wire instructions to clients. The title companies send them there, but I still tell everyone, before you send one penny, call the title company directly just to confirm their numbers, because you don't want that money to go to the wrong place.
No reason not to double check it. It's a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So then, you know, if someone calls you and tells you to send money somewhere, then you know, go back to your email or pull up on Google and call them. And confirm it with them. And it, you know, make sure the person's the same contact you've been communicating. If this is like a new random person you've never heard from before, you know, these fraudsters are smart. They know the name of the title company because they've, you know, siphoned it off the email. You know, so I think another thing that happens is people will get an email with instructions and they'll do it and they'll not realize the email really didn't come from somebody involved in the transaction. We've seen it happen a couple times where title companies we work with have sent emails from Andrew Duncan to them. Needless to say, one of our agents is likely the one dealing with the transaction, and the title person's never heard from me, so that usually throws up a red flag. Because while I oversee a lot of this stuff, the details on the day of closing are not something I'm rarely involved with that. So, you know, nonetheless, be really cautious via email, via phone, no matter what. Double check everything when it comes to wiring a large amount of money. I think number two is make sure you're actually dealing with a real estate agent. There was a TV story a couple weeks ago of a guy that was coming down here from up north and scamming people, saying he was a real estate agent. He was getting deposits and escrow amounts from people, telling them it needed to be in cash. And there were some people that fell for it, and I felt bad for them because, you know, the people that in the way the article was written, the people that fell for it really did a pretty decent job of due diligence. I mean, they were pretty smart about it. They didn't give cash, but he found a way to cash a check. He found a way to, you know, so, you know, really be cautious about making sure you're dealing with somebody. MyFloridaLicense.com, you can verify anyone's real estate license. Secondarily, verify you're dealing with an owner of the property or someone that can prove to you that they're the authorized property manager of the property. You'll have people that will go out and say that they're the property manager, post ads on Craigslist, and then people will go to rent the property, give a deposit, first month's rent, and then ipso facto, it's not really that person's house. So you know, there's definitely ways. I think in most of these situations, if you're doing it on your own, first off, have a buyer agent involved, because they're going to know some of these signs. They're going to know some of the ways to, you know, to help you avoid that. And if you're renting, same thing, get a leasing agent involved. Or even if you don't want to get a leasing agent involved, because quite honestly, a lot of realtors don't want to do it, you know, if you were to just contact us, send us an email and say, hey, does this situation look suspicious to you? Even if you're not our client, we'll look into it for you. I mean, we'll tell you our opinion, maybe even have, you know, our attorney look at it and decide, you know, what they think. But there's certainly a way that we can help you avoid that if you're dealing with it.
And it never hurts to research people online either.
Correct.
You know, read reviews, go to the bigger sites.
Ask for, you know, if someone's a legitimate property manager, they're going to have a website, they're going to have some stuff online about them. If you can't find that, be suspicious. Another you know, scam that happens is, you know, with moving companies. You have some challenges with moving companies holding your stuff hostage. You've got scams related to, you know, home inspections and maintenance, you know, upselling, you know, type stuff. We've seen pest control companies, for example, recently. You know, 3 different companies say, oh, well, you need complete tinting and $7,000, and the other company says, dude, you need like $100 of work, you know. So, you know, always get a second opinion, I think, is the moral of the story.